We made that long trip last week, and you look at the last 4 games between these sides, and they've been close and entertaining. 3 of those games have been decided by 4 points or less. Let's hope tonight's game's just as good.
Well, now Hampshire with the kick-off. St Helens will have the first use of the football. And Brian and John in the studio talking about the sun that is streaming down from that end of the ground that Saints are coming from. And in this left-hand corner for Wakefield, when the ball is pumped into the air, I tell you what, that is going to give the defenders all sorts of trouble during this first half. But here is Luke Thompson now for St Helens. Unlucky not to have played for England on Saturday, but quite philosophical about it all. His chance will come. I'm sure there's no doubt about that either. This is Luke Douglas now. And Roby gets the ball away to Wilkin. Thompson takes his second run of his opening set.
Good meters again, Eddie. I chatted to him before the game. He said he enjoyed the experience, enjoyed spending time with some of those vastly experienced front rowers, Sam Burgess, James Graham, looking to pick up and make sure his club form warrants his selection at the end of the year.
Ryan Hampshire pouched the first kick downfield quite cleanly, despite the sun, which isn't setting yet. And Wakefield get the first penalty for a high shot.
They got it because of the footwork, didn't they? Tom Johnson's brilliant late feet here before the defenders, and if you catch them high, then obviously it's a penalty. It's interesting, you know, both teams have picked similar squads to what they would do in normal conditions. Fascinating last week that Wayne Bennett, the England coach, elected to put a couple of smaller players on the pitch, you know, thinking that maybe sometimes under the sun, maybe size doesn't matter as much.
Well, the size certainly on the side of Anthony England there. And Tyler Randall is the dummy half, and he gets Wakefield moving inside the St Helens half of the field. That's a decent little effort from Tyler Randall.
Big forwards can be a strength and a weakness in these conditions, Eddie. You want to be making mistakes and making to defend.
Good hands to Bill Tupu. But Saints muscle up in defence, and they bring him to ground 15-16 metres away from their own line. 3 tackles remaining though. Matty Ashurst, their dummy half. This now Jacob Miller. Miller gets the pass away to Liam Finn. Finn will find Hampshire, and Hampshire went for the gap, and Johnny Lomax closed it with Mark Percival. There's Rhys Lynn in at dummy half. Liam Finn restored to the side tonight, first time in 4. A big charge forward. Randall to Finn to Lynn. And Rhys Lynn is bundled into touch very close to the St Helens try line. That's good defence from Mark Percival and co early on.
It was great attack though as well, wasn't it? I know we're seeing Wakefield now stretching them on the right. Prior to that though, they had the first chance in the game, didn't when they created overlap. Bill Tupu on the left-hand side of the field. Okay, they've elected not to kick it. But I think that's really positive attacking play from the visitors.
So Saints have to go from one end of the field to the other in this set of 6 if they want to get over the line, and Luke Douglas is halted on tackle number 2, still inside his 20-metre zone. Wilkin though gets it away to Thompson. Roby again, Wilkin on his shoulder, gets it back to Lomax. There's Barber, there's Percival, they're great hands. This is Regan Grace, and there is space for Grace, and he's got support from Barber, he has support from Lomax. Regan Grace though elects in the end to take the tackle, but look where they have finished at the end of that run. They're just 8-9 metres away, and what's more, they get a penalty for holding down as Regan Grace was trying to get to his feet.
Well, James Baxter just trying to buy a bit of time here, knowing that they've been broken. The scramble defence was there from Wakefield. If you wedge in, you've got to make sure you cut Saints down. They are a team that like to throw the ball around, move it to the edges where they've got the likes of Makinson and Grace.
Hold on the foot, hold.
Justin Holbrook watching on. First chance for his team there. Here comes Luke Douglas again. This is going to be the first big test of this Wakefield defence here tonight. And Roby is waiting at dummy half, misses out Wilkin, finds Richardson, he finds Lomax. Lomax trying to jink inside Matty Ashurst, halted though 2 metres away. Took a bit of a bang for his pains then. Roby fires the ball into centre field to Richardson. Richardson to Ben Barber. Barber wide, they go to Regan Grace. Well, it was a flying leap, but it came away from them, a knock on.
Well, Mason Cairn-Brown rescued that. What about the pass from James Roby from dummy half? Tries everything, Regan Grace, but good defence from Mason Cairn-Brown.
Early frustration for Justin Holbrook.
Well, width was the key to Wigan's win last night. It looks as though St Helens are going to follow a similar template, haven't they? They're stretching, as Terry pointed out. The pass from James Roby almost deserved a point on the scoreboard itself. It was world class.
Wakefield in possession. The score stays at 0-0. Here is Matty Ashurst, his 200th Super League appearance. 51 of them for St Helens, 72 for Salford. He was at Saints for 3 years, 2009 to 2012. That's a good offload by Fafita, meanwhile, to Hampshire, as Wakefield look to examine this defence. This is Batchelor again. Interesting note about him, his brother Joe Batchelor has signed for St Helens next year. Fafita with the run to the 30-metre line. Randall going down the right, change of direction then via Finn to Miller. But the Saints defence is there in numbers. Thompson and Wilkin. Ashurst again. Ryan Hampshire. Little dink ball over the top. Looking for Johnson. Only found Tommy Makinson, and Makinson grounded in goal. Johnson doing well. It's a goal line dropout.
It's an excellent kick and a good chase as well. Wakefield grabbing this game and saying, look, because we've got that size and power that may well fatigue later on, we need a good start, we need to test and challenge, and it's a beautiful kick from Ryan Hampshire. We've got the old battle, probably one of the oldest battles in sport. We've got size against speed. Saints with all that class, all that speed, and we've already seen Regan Grace over on his edge make the most of that.
If you wanted to be churlish, Stuart, there probably was contact while Makinson was still in the air there.
Yes, it was a very close one. The referees give the advantage to Wakefield. There was also a blocking back play by Dominic Pereiro, so I suppose you could say 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other.
Fair enough. This is Fafita, who plays the ball to Randall. And Anthony England taking on John Wilkin.
Move! Hold.
Struggling to his feet, England. Will play it here to Randall. And Miller. Back he comes to Hampshire. And Tupu. That's good defence from Tommy Makinson.
We're not going to watch Bill Tupu. He has been a standout this year for Wakefield.
He's having a fantastic season. This Tupu. This is Tiranu Arona.
4! Move, James!
5 metres away.
Go.
Randall fires the pass to Liam Finn, who goes for it himself.
Oh, it was on then, Eddie. A little tip on. There was a try then.
Last tackle coming up here. It goes to Miller this time. Miller's kick is picked up by Lomax's ankle, but Miller, he dragged Lomax back without the ball. So it's a penalty to St Helens.
As soon as he kicks this ball, he knows that he's not quite threaded it through the line. Made a mistake, bit of a poor effort really from Miller, but they did miss an opportunity. A little tip on runner. I'm not sure whether it was Jacob Miller or Liam Finn over on the right-hand side.
Hold.
And it would have been the opening try for the Wakefield Trinity side.
As it is, it's 0-0, 7.5 minutes on the watch. Seb Taylor goes down on the first tackle, this next set of 6 for the Saints. Beat St Helens 24-20 on April the 15th, so maybe quietly confident Wakefield in recording a first ever home and away Super League double. They'll be even more confident here because Saints have gifted them the possession. This is Ashurst.
Good line speed that from Anthony England, getting in the eye line of Luke Thompson, who made the mistake.
And here he is again, taking on Luke Thompson and Roby.
Move! Work back, John! Hold.
Tried to change direction before he caught the ball then.
Randall finds Finn. Finn gives it wide to Miller. Miller finds Batchelor on his inside. And he gets over for the try, I think. No, he hasn't. It's been kicked away from him. And so it's a penalty to Wakefield.
Well, he's had 2 chances in the last minute, James Batchelor, as he's going to get the ball down.
Is that allowed, Stuart?
Well, it's certainly foul play. It's pretty close to going to be a penalty try, that actually. I'm surprised he didn't hand that up to the video referee to look at that.
He would surely have scored.
Yeah.
It certainly looked that way.
Or a yellow card then?
Well, it's neither.
Certainly
It's a
something.
penalty, that's all. This is Fafita. Fafita disentangles himself, finds Randall. Randall then to Miller. Miller over the top, it goes to Tupu. They went for the interception, Helens. It never came off. Hampshire again with a broken play ahead of him. Gets a short ball away. Good defence from St Helens. They stayed in the straight line, wouldn't be dragged out. This is Tyler Randall again. Ball has come backwards. It's picked up by Lomax. And Randall saying that ball was stolen from him.
Well, the way that it come out of the tackle, you would have thought that it would have been a safe time. Here we go.
Look out. Here's Regan Grace. He's got away from Randall. He's on his own, though. Someone's coming behind him. Look out. It was Mason Caton Brown. The tackle is now complete. This is Roby. Makinson has come from the opposite wing to help out. But it's a fast open start to this match.
Well, that's where Saints are good, isn't it, on the counter?
This is Luke Thompson through one. Can't get through the next two. Roby waits inside the 20, finds Danny Richardson. He gets it away to Lomax, and this is Morgan. Rounded, Johnson low down, Miller over the top. Dominic Peyrou. Richardson fires the pass into centre field to Roby. Roby then finds Barber. Barber with a short ball, gets the return. No, he doesn't. Liam Finn picks it up. Well, Liam Finn touched it. It's a knock on by Saints.
They can be trapped on one side of the pitch, and in 3 passes they get to the other. There's a 4-on-2, but they just can't quite get the pass away to Ben Barber, who was trying to fix a couple of defenders over there on the left-hand side.
Well, here's the break, isn't it, by St Helens? We know that Wakefield have been fantastic in the opening 10 minutes. But speed like that can kill any team, and they managed to recover really well. Eddie, you said that Wakefield won against St Helens earlier in the season. We should also remind ourselves, they won on this ground. Many of the players playing here tonight won on this ground last season as well. So they've got a chance of going from good to great. They've had a good season, but it could be a great one here if they put a back-to-back wins over the current team at the top of the table. And they've got the capability, the belief, and at this stage, the attacking ability to do so.
Well, it's been a long time since Wakefield won back-to-back matches on St Helens turf. You have to go back to 1960. Oh, that's easy, though, for Johnny Lomax. He brushed Anthony England out of the way.
He's got to get on that ball, Anthony England, if it's a loose ball on the floor.
September 1960, Wakefield won 18-5 in the league, 15-10 in the cup. 2 wins in the same year, back-to-back. They've never won back-to-back fixtures against Saints since then.
Work back.
I think you look at them, Eddie, they are a confident side, and they will fancy the chances here.
Lomax saw something, hunted the try line, but they got in quickly to bring him down. That's Arona, who was last man off. There's Douglas to Wilkin, Barber then to Morgan, posing some threat down this right-hand side, but loses the ball. The referee, first of all, said it was a 0 tackle because Wakefield touched it, and he's given Saints head and feet.
Well, it was a good shot from Jacob Miller. He's not known for his defence in Super League. He missed more tackles than anybody else. But he gets into Morgan, he strips the ball, it comes out, and the referee says it's a one-on-one, but the ball's gone forward. Jacob Miller.
Both his feet are off there. He's only targeting the ball. Justin Holbrook, he sees and recognises that, wants it for his side. Both of these sides are willing to throw this ball. If you think of the last time that Saints played against Leeds, they narrowly beat them at Headingley, of course. But during that game, Leeds Rhinos threw the ball about, really tested the defence. That's the big improvement for St Helens in 2018, the way that they've defended. They're managing to get the way through those games.
Listen to this scrum here, all 6 players, everyone stood on the short side. 2 pods of 3, and they go wide to Barber.
And Barber goes further wide to Percival, and Regan Grace this time will get in.
Brilliant.
Will get in for the try, Regan Grace. But they were lined up across the field from right to left, and he's caused a bit of damage down that left-hand side already tonight, Regan Grace. He's caused more damage now because he's just given St Helens a 4-point lead. In his 45th consecutive appearance, 10 tries in his last 9 matches, but none in the last 3 in Super League. 10th try of the season for Regan Grace.
They're a patient side, Saints, and they'll wait for the chance, and they overload that left-hand side. And sometimes when you're defending, you think it's going to be a trick play, and they're going to come back on the short side, so they will leave a defender there. But no, they showed their arm and they went for it. All nice, clean passes, squirting up those defenders, keeping them honest and finding the space on the outside.
Well, the All Blacks scored a try from the scrum last Saturday with imagination, creativity and excellent speed with which they put the passes together. St Helens have shown the same level there. They've put enough players in the right places and they've made the right decisions. It's a wonderful try. Delighted to see teams do that. When you think of the extra space created with half of the opposition tied up at a scrum, if you've got fast players and you've got accurate passes, you should be able to put points on the board.
Well, he even had the presence of mind to improve the angle slightly for Danny Richardson. So here he is, the top goal scorer in Super League this year with 83. And make that 84 and 183 points. His drop goal won it at Leeds. that conversion makes it 6-0.
It just shows to me what a quality side St Helens are. Under pressure from Wakefield, the defensive line was bent and broken 3 or 4 times over to our left while they were defending their own try line. They come down, they put a wonderful play on, create some space and give that man the opening try in the left-hand corner.
When you think back to last Good Friday, not this year's Good Friday, 2017, and Regan Grace was put into the side for Saints at Wigan, he took his chance that day, scored a try, breathtaking try. He's never looked back. He's never been omitted from the side since.
No,
that's good work, by the way, from Lomax.
It is. He's been outstanding. And you look at the Saints side, they've got a couple of good wingers, good man at the back, and he's a quality player. Terrorises those big fellas in the middle.
Oh, this fella terrorises them too, Luke Thompson.
He's been outstanding. I was really surprised he didn't play last week.
Wilkin to Lomax. Yes, his performances. He deserves credit for the way that Super League that St Helens have progressed this year in Super League. The handling skills from Saints. It's a joy to watch at times. Here they come again with Peru. He finds Morgan. Morgan has got Makinson on his outside. That tackle is not completed. Now it is. Peru on the last tackle. Richardson's come back this way. That's bounced off Peru. Little chip through, looking for Makinson.
Surrender!
But Miller did well.
I think over the years in Super League, Saints' attack has not changed. The DNA is still exactly the same, and I'm used to dread turning up to games playing, and when it was a perfect pitch, perfect conditions, they're playing full of confidence, they're top of the league. You used to think, how did we beat them?
And when you think about it, from Sean McRae in 1996, the start of Super League, through the Daniel Anderson era, Mick Potter, Kieran Cunningham, now here we are with Justin Holbrook. As you say, it never changes. Is it the people who run the club? Is it the older generation who are in the back room? I'm not talking about Mike Rush, by the way, but you know what I mean. The older generation behind this club. Men like Eamon McManus say, listen, when the new coach comes in, this is how we want to play.
Yeah, I think there is a bit of that, Eddie. You look at the history, you look at where they've been, what's made them successful. When the young kids come into the culture, they know what it's all about. They're surrounded by international players from all over the world, and they do buy into it. They hate and they want to entertain the fans.
Eddie, I can think back to the days of Mike McLennan before Super League. That was always the mantra. We attack and you score points and we'll score more than you. And I think, as I said before, the big difference for me is their attitude in defence, their willingness to work for one another, typified by that man there. If that's your skipper, if that's your talisman, that's your leader, then all players have to do is just simply do what he does.
And he's inside the 40 there is Richardson. Oh, that bounces off Tom Johnson's legs. A little fortunate there, Wakefield.
Well, he's a man that
easily have shot out of play there.
Yeah, could Eddie. He's a man that can score a try out of nothing, isn't he? They have got their own game breakers, Wakefield. They need to be up the other end of the field. They've got very good players, the likes of Ryan Hampshire, Jacob Miller, Liam Finn, who can organise plays. But they need that field position against this red-hot Saints side.
Oh, what a hit that is. Dominic Peru, 33rd consecutive appearance for him. He's come alive, hasn't he?
And he's not a big man,
this year.
He's got great technique, gets his shoulder down, legs planted and rooted to the floor.
Ashurst with a run on tackle number 5. Tupu to Miller, into centre field to Finn. High kick from Finn down the right-hand side. Palm back by Mason Caton-Brown. This is Reece Lynn, still the last. Oh, he's trapped. He was just beaten there by sheer weight of numbers.
Well, the initial kick didn't go far enough, and then when he caught that ball, Lynn, he was caught in two minds. Can I get the ball away? Look, when he gets it, there's 3 players in front of him. He can't get the kick away, and that's just great defence, isn't it? That's an attitude to defend your own try line.
3 in front of him, then 1 came in from the side to make 4. But now it's Wakefield's chance to defend close to the St Helens line. Percival. Great pass. Oh, it's been given away to Johnson by Morgan. And Johnson will score the try. Well, maybe a little too flash there by St Helens. Makinson's lateral run into the arms of Morgan. And Morgan tried to flick the ball away. And when he did, Tom Johnson said, thanks very much. 5 successive games now he has scored a try as Tom Johnson, reprising his 2016 season when he was Young Player of the Year.
And just as we paid compliment to the quality of St Helens, we have to pay compliment to the quality and attitude of Wakefield. Just had a try scored against them. They're in the faces, in the eye lines. Bill Tupu puts pressure on probably for me the best centre in the game, Percival. It's a wonderful battle between those two. And Johnson, with those long levers, long arms of his, gets his side back in the game.
So Johnson, 13th try of the season. Superb solo try against Widnes last week, and a nice intercept from poor old Ryan Morgan. It's probably the easiest one of the 13 that he scored, just dotted the ball down over the line. 6-4 then, and Liam Finn. You would think a man of Finn's kicking quality should add the extras here and the scores will be level. And indeed they are, 6 apiece.
Well, that was important for Wakefield to score next, because at times this season St Helens put back-to-back tries on their opponents. They break their spirits, they break their heart, and effectively gain control of the game. By scoring next here now, they've kept themselves toe-to-toe with it. 6-all, 20 minutes gone. Very good opening quarter from the visitors.
Stay on side.
Yes, they'll see that as a nice reward.
Can they maintain? I just felt there was a 5-minute lull before that point. A little bit of luck with the interception. There was a 5-minute lull in which they started to slow down. The reason why the Chesters brought this new man on. He's Keegan Hurst.
Yes, Keegan Hurst taking it forward. His 40th appearance last week against Widnes. And the prop he was. Prop forward last week. Arona will take it on. Cook Islander. Mentioned the fact that St Helens haven't used more than 22 players. I think it's 25 for Wakefield, which again says it all. I mean, I know they're not top of the table, the 7th, but this is why they've got this understanding. This is why they play with a little bit of flair, a little bit of pomp. It was surely a foul and a penalty there. Roby pulled the legs away. He got away with it. Here's Fafita.
Scatters defenders, doesn't he, Fafita?
And it just drills the ball into touch on this near side. I would imagine here in Costa del St Helens tonight that it is pretty warm out there on the field.
Well, there's some out there that might say that this is a negative play, but I think the game management that's needed from Jacob Miller, if Wakefield have got a chance of going away with the 2 league points, they've got to dictate the pace of the game. They can't just kick it into a pocket hoping that Makinson or Regan Grace will make a mistake. They've got to do all the hard things.
Just into the second quarter, you saw the body language of Jacob Miller there. Hands on his hips, breathing deeply. Wakefield made a change already. Big day for Fafita. He'll put as many minutes in as he can.
Well, Widnes, as you might have seen, trailing 10-0 at Hull. They're now looking for the qualifiers at the end of the season to maintain their Super League status. Catalan are hoping to get out of the bottom 4 against Castleford tomorrow. If they do that and Huddersfield win tonight at Hull KR, Leeds will be in the bottom 4. So it's a fascinating battle to avoid the qualifiers and get into the Super 8s. I think Saints are assured of a place in the Super 8s and maybe as league leaders, Shield winners. We'll see. Here's Lomax. That's a good tackle though. Good hit by Liam Finn. It's Barber off the outside of the right boot, down the line. Hampshire will pick it up on his own goal line. Ryan Hampshire will run it across the face of play. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook just envelops him.
This is where it's going to be hard now for Wakefield. You can see Fafita in on the field for 22 minutes. He's just walking back. He will offer himself, like Barry says. He does like to preserve his energy. Very good when he's carrying the ball. But when the opposition get anywhere near him in attack, they will try and challenge him laterally.
There goes Tupu. He gets the ball back nicely to Johnson. Johnson goes up the middle. Wilkin and Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook dealing with the threat. Randall and Keegan Hurst once again trying to get the arms free for the offload. Thought better of it. Last one here then, Liam Finn with the kick.
Give 10.
Nice kick too, along the ground into the lengthening shadows on that far side. Barber picks it up, gives it to Regan Grace.
Good kick.
Decent chase as well.
Making it difficult for the back three. They wouldn't really want to target Makinson. When he returns the ball, it's always with interest. Kick the ball behind Barber, behind Grace. And then hopefully not make it easy for them. If it's up high in the air, they catch it on the full. They're into the stride after a couple of steps.
Move, work back, David.
Percival down, tackle number 3. Still midway inside his own half of the field. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook.
He is the most enthusiastic person in Super League.
Richardson. Peru. Reached the last tackle here of this set. They're only just over halfway. Running it with Lomax, with Barber. Has Percival outside him. Percival shaped to give it to Regan Grace. Comes inside instead. Gives it to Johnny Lomax. Classic. Classical St. Helens try. Draws applause from the crowd, and no wonder. Johnny Lomax, impressive for England on Saturday while he was on the field. A try in the win at Leeds 2 weeks ago, and his 11th try of the season just.
And the big shift here from the Saints side, and Barber and Percival, I think they've really hit it off between each other. Those two, they both ranked first and second in Super League for tries scored, tackle bust, clean breaks. And Johnny Lomax knows that if he can just stay around those players after he passes this ball, something may happen. He puts on the afterburners there. Mason Caton-Brown falls for the dummy to Regan Grace, and the space on the inside.
There are some unselfish players here. You see players who, when you are defending against a St. Helens attacking line, you have to account for everybody. So even though players don't get the ball, thinking specifically of Luke Douglas, who's there or thereabouts, he will have attracted the attention of a defender. That means there's some space on the outside. Good play from Mark Percival, and then right on the end of it, again, Johnny Lomax. And Saints look hot, they look quick, they look fast. Dangerous signs.
Richardson then to try and add the extras. And he manages that with ease. St. Helens are 12-6 ahead.
Well, we'll see here another angle of this try for the St. Helens side. Lots of width, good passing. Obviously a lot of it from right to left. And the ball goes back towards the centre to make the kick easier. If Wakefield are going to win at this ground, they're going to have to take some risks, Eddie. And that risk might involve this restart here. Teams very often only go for a short restart towards the end of the game when they think they need the ball back. But I think Wakefield need the ball very, very soon.
Well, the Saints have won 35 of 44 at Super League level against Wakefield since Trinity were promoted in 1999. That's a big hit on Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. St. Helens have lost here only 3 times against Wakefield in 20 seasons. It's a big ask for Wakefield, but as Phil said earlier, they won here last year, so why not? They're playing well. They're only 6 points adrift after 26 minutes.
Well, they've just got to roll the dice, and what they have got to control is the big go forward from Saints. With the man who's just going behind to play the ball now. He's so good in attack and defence. He's key to Saints. James Roby.
Big hit he took there from Arona and Batchelor. Just gets up though as if he was swatting a fly. And Lomax with a high kick. He's hit the deck after that. And this is claimed by Hampshire. We got through a couple of would-be challengers, but there were 2 waiting in reserve. Tupu now.
That power and size that Wakefield have in their ranks is ineffective when it's fatigued. You see big Paulie getting ready to come on, add some size. And the closer Wakefield are to their opposition's line, the greater their chances. And also, it's going to be more difficult for Saints, although they've got the speed to run the length of the pitch.
A big moment for Chris Anakin. He's come onto the field as Fafita still waits. In fact, Fafita comes off, I beg your pardon, and Paulie comes on. There he is. Anakin has hardly played this year. 6 to go here for Wakefield. Tom Johnson gets away from the first would-be tackler. Wilkin missed him, but Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook was there. So 6 to go for Wakefield here. Here's Paulie.
Move, go line. Go off the ball.
Randall. Randall changed the direction of this attack. Finn to Hampshire. Drops the pass off to Mason Caton Brown. There was nothing doing for him there because he was enveloped immediately by Percival. This is Finn. Here's Anakin. LMS got to him pretty quickly. He signed a new 2-year deal last September, but he's hardly played since. There's Chris Anakin. Paulie, using his weight, gets it away to Miller. Miller dabs it to the in-goal area, and Tommy Makinson puts boot to ball, and it's a goal line dropout.
Every time Wakefield seemed to go to the left-hand side, with the likes of Matty Ashurst and Bill Tupou and Tom Johnson, they have got 3 players there with an awful lot of strike. They showed up early on the right-hand side as well with James Batchelor, but I think they do prefer coming over this side, especially the form that Tupou's in this year. You can see Chris Chester quite happy to keep on rolling, get another set of 6, build some pressure, keep hold of the ball, keep the energy.
John Wilkins been taken off the field for a breather. No wonder. In the heat tonight, it's glorious weather. No complaints anymore about the weather, Terence. It's wonderful, isn't it?
You did about 3.5 months.
I know, 3.5 months of moaning, and we got the reward in the end, didn't we?
And now you're saying it's too warm for you.
You'll
Not
find
me.
something else to moan about.
No, not me.
Oh, there's a mistake here. Oh, mistake.
Whose is the knock on, though? Is it Wakefield's?
Yeah, Wakefield. I think Ryan Hampshire, when he goes into that tackle, loses possession. He's hit by numbers. See 3 players. He's looking to get the offload away.
Well, it came back. It came back.
It wasn't a mistake off Hampshire. He offloads the ball, and then Liam Finn, as he goes to pick it up, I think it's Liam Finn, the man who's been judged by the referee to have lost possession.
Okay, second
Yeah,
row.
he just puts his hands on it, doesn't he, on the ground. It goes backwards from Hampshire, and then Finn, he goes in when the ball comes out, and it's deemed as a knock on.
Saints with head and feet then. Makinson.
Move. Hold. Go.
Big matches being played all over the Super League tonight. Warrington are 14-6 up on Salford. Hull 16-0 up against Widnes.
Hold.
As I say, Widnes will be looking further down the line. And Huddersfield leading at Hull Kingston Rovers. That's not a good scoreline for the Leeds Rhinos. Lomax, lovely offload from Zeb Taylor. Roby. LMS again down the middle. Morgan Knowles, the man on for Wilkin.
5. Move on me. Hold. Hold. Go.
Down the short side with Richardson to Peyru, who somehow kept hold of it and then made a bit of a porridge of it.
And they're probably lucky, Eddie, that he had a little juggle with the ball. They were setting up on the short side. Everyone was expecting the ball to go over to the left-hand side,
Play the ball on
where
you,
Ben
mate.
Barber had positioned himself. Just that little wobble then just helps the defenders out. There was some uncertainty in who was going to get the ball, which line was going to be run. And I agree with your comments before, Eddie, about that man, Dominic Peyru. Since he's moved into the back row, I think he's been fantastic for Saints.
Firmly established now in the side.
1. Move.
Formerly with New Zealand Warriors and the Gold Coast Titans in the NRL.
2. Move. Hold.
Could be playing on the Gold Coast tonight, couldn't we? Paulie. Look at those legs, the way he keeps driving them, despite the attention of 3 defenders now. Eventually goes down.
He was compared to Fufu Moimai back when he was starting off at Parramatta, wasn't he?
Nice run from Reece Lynn, halted by Taya and Knowles. He got a bang in the mouth by the looks of things.
Well, straight away, as soon as he went into that tackle, you can see there's been some contact.
Oof.
Zeb Taylor over the top.
And that'll be a penalty. Clear contact with the head.
And there's blood as well from the mouth of Reece Lynn.
Do you think we should allow, you know, a replay to determine a penalty if the referee hasn't seen it live? What's your view on that?
Well, I think you always want a penalty to be picked up. You always want foul play to be picked up. The best scenario, obviously, is when the referee picks it up on the field. But, you know, the replay has seen. I don't think, again, we had a situation last night where a player's on the ground. He's not lying down to get the penalty. I think he actually is injured. He's
Contact on the head is high
the
tackle,
result,
penalty.
and the correct result is a penalty.
And that's what they've got, Wakefield.
It's a penalty, mate. It's a penalty.
Stuart, no matter what you say about contact with the head, you will never convince 2/3 of our colleagues.
No, Eddie swinging
I'm
out.
not-
My
including
issue, Eddie, is that I personally, if the referee doesn't blow a penalty, the player stays there and he gets treatment. But for me, I want to keep the live in live sport. If the referee didn't see
Exactly,
that initially,
I agree.
then that's
There's
my
a massive
view.
debate in the World Cup at the moment about VAR. They're getting it right.
Where we're frustrated, we're ex-players and players who watch this game and are passionate about it. Players now know if you stay down on the floor, you force a decision.
A
He had blood
glancing
pumping
shot.
from his
A
mouth.
I'm not saying he
glancing
wasn't
shot.
injured.
Oh, that's criminal here now. Wakefield have got themselves in a great position half an hour into this game, and twice now they've lost the ball inside their opponent's half without really being put under too much pressure. Do you know what? I mean, it's very hard to score when you come to this ground. There's been 8 games in Super League so far, and there's only been 86 points scored. Saints don't concede on their own ground easily, so you're going to have to work very hard and work far better than that. I'm frustrated here for the Wakefield
let's
fans
form up.
because they've put a massive
in.
effort in for half an hour.
Stay
They've
in.
got their opponents in a vulnerable
Ball in.
position, but they're letting them off too easily.
You look at the size difference there between Morgan Knowles and Paulie. I think Morgan Knowles is one of those players that the bigger the challenge, the more he steps up to it. You saw him in the World Cup for Wales. Wales didn't have a good World Cup, but he was absolutely tremendous.
Hold.
Here's Zebtaya. Paulie in quickly with Anakin.
Hold. Go quicker, Paulie.
Roby to Matty Lees.
Ball. Move on me. Hold.
8th substitute appearance of the year for Lees. Knowles and Richardson and Peyru. Ashurst in quickly with Hurst, with Miller.
Move right back.
Last tackle coming up here then for the Saints. This set, Richardson hoists it high. Well, the shadows are lengthening. And actually, Makinson was looking into the sun then as he picked that out of the sky. And here he is with the pass. It's a little bit lax. But he finds Barber of all people. And Barber gets it over the top to Zebtaya. Here is Percival. Now it's Grace. It's still the last tackle, isn't it, this?
Yeah.
And it's Barber then with the kick. Crossfield, there's 4 St Helens players hunting this. The ball has come back. Richardson has it. Peyru wants it. Richardson claims it. It's almost a wide to West moment. It's almost a wide to West moment for Saints in 2018. Left, right and centre, back and cross and up and down and all over the shop. But they've got no try on the field. So maybe it isn't a wide to West moment after all.
You were getting excited, Eddie. I'm sure this is a knock-on here. When Makinson goes up for that ball, I'm sure he knocks the ball forward.
Well, Stuart, over to you. Pick the bones out of this.
Well, it's just the challenge. Which way does the ball go? All the players to the right, all the chasing players are onside. Is this a knock-on when they go to collect the ball? Makinson gets the ball, doesn't collect it cleanly. Now, where does it go? It has to. If it travels towards the opponent's in-goal area from where he's touched it there, then that will be classed as a knock-on.
It looks on that, Stuart, as though it's going backwards.
Well, this should give us a good idea. He's on the line where he touches it.
No, but it comes out of his hands. It goes forward and it comes off his head and
Comes
goes
off his
backwards.
head.
That's a knock on that.
How is that a knock-on? If it hits his head, if it hits an opposition player, it hits his head and goes backwards.
It hits
Then
his
that's
Come on,
okay.
Terry, you surely know that
He's-
rule.
That's a knock on for me. He
Well-
goes up for this ball, Makinson. He loses it, doesn't catch it cleanly, knocks it forward into his head.
Into his head, and it goes backwards.
Goes backwards.
It goes
And then
backwards
it
on the line,
bounces.
then it
Oh,
bounces
Terry,
forward.
I'm appalled
Never.
you didn't know that it
Never.
backwards off your head.
Now, what Ben Thayer will be trying to decide here is where does it come from? Where does it go? Even though it's his head,
I agree with you, Tez. I think it hits his left arm into his head. It hits
the pictures,
the
the
arm
pictures tell
forward,
the pictures,
into the head backwards.
The pictures tell the story. The ball hasn't hit a Wakefield player. The ball hasn't hit the ground. It's hit Makinson and it goes backwards, Stuart. Over to you, to the
that's
expert.
it goes backwards. So for me, it's play on from that point. He's not offside. Richardson's not offside because Makinson's in front of him. So we should be playing on from here to the grounding, and he goes through. So I think that's okay. I think there's evidence there for me to overturn the decision. and award the try.
And it's going to be overturned.
Well, can I just say that is a ridiculous rule? Because if he loses the ball and it comes off his head, it goes forward into his head, then he knocks it back.
If you knock the ball off one arm forward, catch it with your right arm and then score, is that a try or is that a knock-on, Terry?
Well, that's struggling. That's if you haven't got control of it, Phil.
Terry, look at the screen.
I look at it. There's a lot of things.
I can remember a no try in the PNG game where the ball was batted forward by one of the PNG players.
I understand what you're saying, Phil, about with juggling the ball here. But I just think that he's losing possession. It's not going to go forward to his other arm. It goes into his head and then backwards.
It's only a knock-on if it's an opposition player or the post. That's it.
I get that. Well, Saints have scored a try anyway against another player.
You concede now.
No, don't, Eddie. I just say that.
No, you just said Saints have scored a try, so you concede the
Saints have scored the try. The correct decision, according to the referee, James Child, and the video ref, Ben Failer. I just don't agree with it, Eddie. That's all I'm saying.
Richardson to add the extras, which he does. So it's 18 points to 6. You mentioned Mike McLennan earlier on in the piece. Remember around about 1990, big John Harrison.
John Harrison,
he got John Harrison to head the ball forward.
He pulled the ball towards his head. He didn't head it. He pulled the ball towards his head in a backward motion. It propelled forward. A try was scored, and then a rule was changed.
Well, Nickinson's learned. He's headed it backwards, and that's allowed.
Yeah, well, there you go.
The only difference is John Harrison deliberately headed the ball forward. That was an accidental head, and it went backwards.
John Harrison was 6 foot and a million as well.
Well, there's only two, I think, on the commentary team arguing that should not have been allowed. And the most important man who thought it should be allowed is Ben Thaler, the video referee. So 18-6 to St Helens inside the last 5 of the first half. That'll be something for John Wells and Brian Carney to get their teeth into at half-time.
Well,
he got the offload away there after the referee had caught held Matty Lee, so the ball comes back and we'll play the ball. Richardson's gone for a 40-20 here. Up and over the top. Good kick, great kick. Johnson picks it up on his own goal line, and a great chase as well. Okay, debate is raging all around the Totally Wicked Stadium about that try and the legality of it. Bill Arthur has got an alternate view.
No, I'm just sitting very close to the Wakefield dugout, Eddie, and it's not very difficult to gauge the feeling that Chris Chester, Stuart Dickens and those around them have of that decision, and they are making their feelings known. They have been making their feelings known to the fourth official and to the other officials on the sidelines. A lot of shaking of heads and bewilderment at that decision.
Well, Stuart, what's the rule again?
It's only a knock-on if it's the ball's knocked forward towards the opponent's in goal and it touches an opposition player, the ground or the post.
There you go. Here goes Ben Barber now. It's a Ben Barber special, is it? He slowed it down. He's calling Peiro onto it. Peiro gets the ball away to Richardson. Richardson has lost the ball under pressure from Hampshire, and that's a knock-on.
they've worked really hard on a couple of occasions when they've been broken here. Ryan Hampshire hits Danny Richardson.
And there's problems here for Hampshire, Richardson. He wasn't expecting Hampshire.
No, well, there's a couple of times, but this man here at the back, Ben Barber, he beats people with his footwork, beats people with his strength as well. He's gone through Keegan Hurst, the prop forward, drops a player inside him. Dominic Peru gets the offload away. He doesn't realise that there's inside pressure coming. He's relaxed before he gets the pass away.
I think Ryan Hampshire's kept his teams alive here. If Saints had scored again before the half-time hooter, I don't see the Wakefield Trinity side being able to come back from that deficit. It is hard to score points here. He's done really well there to null out that threat. Richardson gets up and hobbles back to his line.
Zero tackle, mate. Tell you when.
That's what they are doing really well in this game. Got Tom Johnson on a couple of occasions when the Saints players are bouncing across the line. He's chasing, the inside pressure, he's putting a shot on when they're not expecting it.
Paulie with the latest run.
One, move! Hold.
I think when these two teams go in to the dressing room, I think Wakefield will be relatively pleased. They've made a basic error
Matty Ashurst losing the ball forward.
They've shown plenty of commitment when it's been their time to defend. And Saints are a fantastic side that will score tries from anywhere.
Move! Hold the 10. Hold!
Nothing wrong with the pass. It's just the pressure of the defence. Morgan Knowles gets the ball away to Matty Lees.
Hold.
Same sort of player as Luke Thompson. Matty Lees hasn't got really a sidestep, just runs as hard as he can.
He reminds me...
Surrounded by Anakin.
Sorry, Ed. He reminds me of a player that played for St Helens in the 90s and noughties, Nick Fozzard. No holds barred, hard and strong and a difficult man to stop.
Move, work back.
Here's Roby, centre field, Richardson. Oof. Ashurst caught Richardson a bit high there. Will he take the two here with less than 2 minutes to half-time?
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
In this heat?
Keep going, guys.
Yes.
Well, the kicking tee's coming out, I think. And the doctor's coming out and he's saying, we'll go for the two. He's got the message out. Salford fighting back at Warrington, 14-10 now. And that's a fight back by Widnes, 16-12 at half-time against Hull FC.
Well, they never gave in last week, the Vikings. They were 22-0 down at half-time. A spirited effort from them there to come back at Wakefield. They play with an ignorance of the scoreboard, even though they're at the bottom of the league table. And they'll push Hull as far as they possibly can.
Well, they're now planning, of course, for their qualifying campaign. They can't get out of jail, so there's 3 other places available in the qualifying competition to take on the top 4 of the championship. The Torontos, the Toulouses, the Halifaxes maybe, the Featherstones, the
Lee
Londons.
and Featherstone, yeah, London.
It's a fascinating battle, the bottom 4. This for 2 points to give St Helens a lot more breathing space at half-time. Super League's top goal kicker comes to the fore again.
He's not moving well though, is he, Danny Richardson? Since he got that hit from Ryan Hampshire, he's struggling to get back.
Combination of all sorts of things, I think. It's so warm.
We'll see how he goes at half-time, Eddie, when he's got to sit down for 13 minutes.
You've got to bang on the top of the hip or the top of the leg, that's for sure.
Got Theo Fage on the sideline. St Helens, not sure whether he's got on so far. You have an option if he's not right to carry on, Danny Richardson.
Hampshire kicks off. Lomax is underneath it. Here comes McCarthy Scarsbrook. There's the half-time siren, and St Helens are leading by 20 points to 6. Chris Chester and company, from all accounts, not too impressed with the video referee decision that gave St Helens the try to Danny Richardson 6 minutes from half-time. Something for John Wells and Brian Carney to debate at length, I've no doubt, during the half-time break, which is on its way now. After I've told you that Regan Grace gave Saints the lead in the 12th minute, Richardson added a goal. Lomax with a try on 24 minutes after Johnston had levelled the scores, 6 apiece. Then it was 12-6, courtesy of the Lomax try. That controversial, in some people's mind, Richardson try on 34. Successful kick from Richardson again. And then a penalty from Danny Richardson gives us the half-time scoreline of 20 points to 6. Some good skills on show, though, here. But a little bit to talk about during half-time, and the report is on its way.
Watch Formula One live on Sky Sports.
You have to keep the heads of the British show.
Lads, and everybody! Every team's in with a sound. Isn't that right, Boris? Now we've got your attention. Check this out.
Get a free bet if your selection loses in the Uruguay-Portugal match.
I don't want to be Russian, but we really must go. Let's go, Boris. Giddy up and Brooks for the betters of Britain.
Save on all you need at Curry's PC World.
Get up to £200 off this Sony 4K-ready Android TV with Google Assistant built in from $749, our lowest ever price. save £40 on this 7-kilo Beko washer. Get the 8-kilo model for just £20 more. Collect in-store and take home today. And save £50 off these exclusive Beko ovens with a generous cooking space, perfect for a large family. At Curry's PC World, we help you get it right.
Lloyds Bank, by your side.
We take great care to craft beautiful tasting wines using natural methods and ingredients. Everyone from those that handpick the grapes to our winemakers are mindful of the delicate balance of nature. This is why we ride our bikes around the vineyard. But it's not the only reason we ride. Cono Sur Bicicleta, crafted with care.
As a Sky TV customer, you can use the Sky Go app at no extra cost. Take that unmissable show with you to the kitchen. Never miss a moment of live action from the desk. And when those duvet days come calling, get cozy and watch the TV you love beneath the covers. So make the most of Sky, anytime, anywhere on your devices. Download and start enjoying the Sky Go app today at no extra cost.
SEAL Team 6, it's who I am. Our word is our bond. You never dishonor your country. You never dishonor this squadron. This is your family.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that.
A reminder that we've got cricket coming up for you from Old Trafford on Tuesday on Sky Sports Cricket. It's the first T20 International, England and India. That Tuesday, 5 p.m. start for that one. And of course, it's the Austrian Grand Prix this weekend. We have qualifying tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Sky Sports Formula 1, and at 12:30 p.m. on Sunday, again the same channel, it is race day. It's round 19 of the Betfred Super League. It is half-time at the Totally Wicked Stadium at St Helens. On the home side, the league leaders lead by 20 points to 6 at half-time against a Wakefield Trinity side that beat the Saints earlier this year. Had a quick look at the match stats from this one. It will show St Helens completing at a disappointing 65%, coming up with 7 handling errors to Wakefield's 6. Wakefield slightly higher completion rate, holding onto the ball in these warm conditions could end up being crucial. 13 missed tackles for Wakefield, just the 6 for the home side. There are 3 other games from the Betfred Super League, and here's some score updates from those. Remember, Widnes having lost their last 11 matches, they had to travel over to the KCOM Stadium, and it was Hull that got off to a great start. Tries from Albert Kelly, Hakim Maludi, and a great one from Liam Harris saw Hull FC into a 16-0 lead. And Charlie Runciman and Owen Buckley in his first appearance for Widnes had hit back for the visitors, 16-12 at half-time, so just 4 points in it, very close. Over at Warrington, close as well. The Wolves scored first through Sitaleki Aquala, then Tom Lynham scored after Jack Littlejohn had equalised things. Toby King put the Wolves back in front, 14 points to 6, and then with Ryan Lannon in the sin bin, Jack Littlejohn got his second, unconverted by Robert Louis, 14-10 to the Warrington Wolves. Over at Hull Kingston Rovers, Adam Quinlan has just scored for them. Huddersfield had scored first to Darnell McIntosh. They led 4-0 for quite a while. Hull Kingston Rovers, though, have hit back. Lots happening in the Betfred Super League. Our attention, though, for the next few minutes will focus on the league leader, St Helens, and their first half performance against Wakefield Trinity. We came here talking about a St Helens side that had a big build-up to the game, 2 weeks of preparation, 7 games in a row they've won in Super League against the Wakefield side that had to recover from a game just a few days ago against Widnes. I mean, Wakefield started brightly in this game, to their credit.
There's enough in this game, Brian, to, if you are sitting in the Wakefield dressing room, or if you're a Wakefield fan watching at home, to say that there's enough in this game to say that Wakefield could come and take the 2 points from this. There really is. As good as a start it was in the finish from Regan Grace on 12 minutes, they also were forced, I think, and pressured with that constant presence of Wakefield at the right end of the field, the wrong end for St Helens, that led to the Johnston try.
That squared things up at 6 points apiece, and then Johnny Lomax goes over, of course, 12-6 then to St Helens with a Mark Percival nice break. Then came one that was slightly controversial. John, you didn't have a problem with this one, though.
No. It's, he's fumbled the catch. I understand where Terry's coming from, just almost in the spirit of it, that he's fumbled the ball and not caught it cleanly, but the fact that it's come off his head is happenstance more than anything else. It's not a deliberate act. The try's fine in my view.
Try was given, 18 points to 6. Richardson then tagged on a late penalty in the half, 20 points to 6. Before we look at your analysis of that first half, I want to go back to an incident with Ben Barber. Penalty try, there was a call for Wakefield. I mean, it was an important match. It would have been the first score of the game. It would have gone to the visitors. Do you feel it should have been given?
Surprised it wasn't looked at. I do say that. Ben Barber's stuck his leg in there in the deliberate act of knocking the ball out. Now, you can never say with 100% certainty, and that's the rule, isn't it? There must be no doubt that the try would have been scored. So there's always a chance that ball could have fallen out of his grasp. It's not like the ball was rolling along the floor; it just needed someone to ground it. But I think all things being equal, the scoreline probably represents the difference between the two sides in terms of their execution, not in terms of their potential. Because what we saw very early on from Wakefield, forced into some good defence but responding really well. We're going to take this one to a point which they do so well. They have Zeb Taylor coming on a hard line down here, and they hide Ben Barber, and his timing is exceptional. And when you've got such a hard, convincing frontline runner, and you're putting somebody with a skill set of Ben Barber out the back, it is always going to hold a centre. Reece Lynn has to account for him because of the space that he's created because of it. So when he throws this ball, have a look at the response from Mason Caton-Brown. Start position good because he's covering Percival in the centre. Have a look at the first 3 steps. Those first 3 steps saved that try for me, and that's the natural speed of Mason Caton-Brown and how they recovered from that.
There's a couple of examples of good Wakefield defence that you're complimentary of, but I suppose ultimately at the end it wasn't good enough.
No, it wasn't, but I think this is worth looking at because these are certainly things that have been worked on and that are there for Wakefield to get hold of should they want to get down.
So more of this is if they have a chance in this game, more of this.
Well, they're going to have to, yes, but they're going to have to be a bit more clinical in attack. Have a look at Bill Tupu here. From an offload, St Helens come wide. Tupu is in a vulnerable position, and I'll tell you where, just there. He gets himself just a half step too far out of this defensive line. But look at the adjustment crucially now. He's now vulnerable, Tupu, to this inside shoulder stuff, and that would blow the defensive line wide open. So what he does is really smart. Just a check, stops, reattaches himself to that defensive line, assesses, backs off. He's still got one of the man in Peru to convince to pass, checks him, and then makes the tackle. Top class stuff. They're going to need more of it, yes, Brian. But what it does do is it makes the try all that more disappointing, because they're at the point now where on the halfway line it's the last tackle. I just feel there's not enough energy here. Last tackle, 3 sit short side, markers aren't doing anything. Fafita's there, a good wide ball. He's going to put them in some space. The winger's dropped off, the centre's not providing any coverage on that side of the field, and it's easily exploited, too easily exploited by St Helens. You cannot afford to switch off on them, whether it's the last tackle, first tackle, whether you're on your own 10, you're the halfway line, and that's the lesson that they'll have to take into the second half.
And that pushed St Helens into a 12-6 lead, which they have built on in this game from round 19 of the Betfred Super League. Justin Holbrook animated in the dressing rooms at half-time. He demands a lot of his side, didn't rest any of the returning England internationals, and he will expect them to bring this home with a wet sail in the second 40 minutes. Chris Chester, can he rally his sides? 14 points in it. He's not beyond Wakefield Trinity. And of course, I'll remind you yet again that they have already beaten St Helens this year, one of only 2 teams to have done it in the Betfred Super League in 2018. They've got 40 minutes to try and do the double. Eddie and the boys standing by the other side of this break.
Chase on him, Luque with a drop goal! He has kicked it!
For protection from dry skin, try Nivea Man Cream, part of the Protect and Care range. Only from Nivea Man.
Get more from the World Cup with Scratch of the Day from William Hill. The free-to-play daily scratch card for all William Hill customers. From free bets and gaming bonuses to super bet boosts and free spins. You've got 3 chances to win every day from now right up to the World Cup final. There are 5 million bonuses up for grabs and much more in our special prize draws. Simply go to William Hill online or on mobile to get your free daily scratch card and 3 chances to win. William Hill, this is more.
It's just 1 minute. Nico, it's just 1 raindrop.
It's just 1/10 from pole position.
Just 1 second off first place.
No thanks.
Come on, Nico, it's just 1 beer.
I'm still driving.
You are getting in shape, Bob. You bet, Ted. And I've just got a loan from Likely Loans.
Likely Loans?
Yeah, they work hard to accept you, even if you've been turned away elsewhere, no matter what shape you're in. Even me? Yes, Barry, even you. And Likely Loans can tell you straight away if you'll get a loan before you apply. And it doesn't affect your credit score.
At Likely Loans, you could borrow up to £5,000 at 59.9% APR representative. It's quick and you'll get your money the next working day. Apply now at likelyloans.com, whatever financial shape you're in.
At Morrison's, these 100 wash packs of Persil are £10 each. That's 10 pence a wash. Morrison's.
What do we do now?
Isn't it obvious? Just look at this Betway offer. Wait, what? It's an amazing offer on the England match. This is it? I know. We can get a £10 free bet.
For the love of the game. Betway.
My designs are inspired by my travels, so I'm always searching for flights. I use Kayak to find offers from hundreds of sites, so I always know what to book and where to book it.
Imagine an incredible world. A world full of wonder. Where the impossible doesn't exist.
To infinity and beyond!
Imagine all this in one weekend.
This is better than I ever imagined.
Showtime.
Let your imagination run free with a world of Disney Pixar movies, available from the 30th of June, only on Sky Cinema Disney.
After 70 years, how healthy is our NHS?
Them perhaps weave a little bit of magic. Well, the players emerging for the start of the second half, and this is how it finished at half-time. Saints 20, Wakefield Trinity 6. 3 tries to 1. And during the half-time interval, while you've been hearing from John and Brian, a lovely moment for Raymond Rush, the man who came on with the match ball and presented it to James Child, the referee. He has received that medal, the Légion d'honneur, one of the highest honours bestowed by the French nation for his bravery in the liberation of France in the Second World War, from the St Helens chairman, Eamon McManus. And also during half-time, 3 of the servicemen were present when they signed an Armed Forces covenant with the St Helens Club and the foundation. All part and parcel of the sport of rugby league celebrating Armed Services Day this weekend. We're up and running in the second half. Saints ahead, as I say, 20 points to 6. And Wakefield, well, they've got a lot of work to do now to get back into this match. They need a try early in the second half.
They've got to be the first to score, haven't they, to lift that confidence. The final 10 minutes in the first half went away from them, conceded a couple of tries, but they're well and truly still in this competition, though.
Anthony England trying to use his weight This is Miller. He gets it away to Keegan Hurst once again.
All the way, hold.
He's pretty quickly out of the blocks at the marker position, and that's a good run from Kyle Wood, who's on. Gets it away to Walker. Miller, I beg your pardon. Jacob Miller. And there's Keegan Hurst. This now Liam Finn under pressure. Kick goes high. It drops nicely for Rhys Lynn, and Lynn then dinks it forward, but straight into the arms of Ben Barber. And if you remember the match against St Helens for Leeds, that's what Leeds weren't doing. They weren't presenting the kick directly to Barber. They were managing it and pushing the ball over the sidelines.
Kicking it away from Barber, making sure that the ball, when it was left on the field, wasn't anywhere near Ben Barber. Took a lot of his game away. That was a good opening set from the Wakefield side. Got a bit scrappy at the end when Rhys Lynn had hold of it. Regan Grace goes into this challenge, goes low, and the two players clash heads.
Anakin and Keegan Hurst. Could be 2 concussion assessments required here. Keegan Hurst originally got up and then sank once again. This is a worrying time for Chris Chester.
It is, Eddie. You can see Chris Anakin as well, just shaking his and wiggling his fingers just to see if there's any sensation. They're the ones that get you, the ones that you don't see coming. They're the ones that hurt you the most.
Looks like Keegan Hurst will definitely leave the field. The physio made that sign. It was on the side of the head, wasn't it, to Keegan Hurst?
He's on his feet and he's walking off, which is good news, but whether we'll see him again tonight remains to be seen. And meanwhile, Anakin is still receiving treatment on the ground.
Well, in this weather as well, Eddie, you can't afford to lose 2 of your big forwards, can you?
You can't.
When you're playing against Saints, who play the game at a high tempo, the way that they play, they look for the quick play of the ball. It's all the attacks around the middle third of the field. And with Keegan Hurst walking off the field and still some problems with Chris Anakin, they'll do a decent job to get him back on the field.
Fafita has replaced the big man Keegan Hurst. Arona, number 16, Tinarau Arona, he's patrolling the sideline in case, as I'm sure it will be, Anakin leaves the field. So they don't lose that much. It's pretty much like for like.
You look at Chris Anakin on the floor in Simon Perrott. He's the Saints doctor. He's on the field now along with the Wakefield doctor and Paul Stockton, the Saints doctor, and just checking his neck, seeing if he can move. Obviously there's some concern. Not so sure whether Simon Perrott wants him to move his neck that quickly, but he's giving it a go, seeing if he's okay, and yeah, he's up on the field, so that's good signs.
And he's not leaving the field by the looks of things, Chris Anakin, and that's good work from the medical team, from the doctors of both sides. We've got half-time news, I think, from Bill.
Yes, St Helens pretty pleased with the situation, but had a quick word with John Wilkin, who's just sitting on the exercise spike at the moment, having a breather, and says he needs one because it is very hot, draining work out there for all the players. But Saints believe there can be better from them in the second half. Not really made the most of some scoring opportunities, not firing all cylinders in attack, and maybe take a few more chances, says the Saints captain. So look out for fireworks in that respect. Talking of fireworks, 1 or 2 from the Wakefield camp in respect of a couple of decisions in that first half. Really disappointed about the Ben Barber incident and the fact that no penalty try came their way, and also that knock-on that wasn't from Tommy Makinson. And in fact, their impression in that incident was that there was also a hint of obstruction, and Matty Ashurst was prevented from making a tackle once the ball had been knocked down. So they were pretty hard done by about that. But Chris Chester also acknowledging that they have been their own worst enemy at times. They've coughed up possession on the first tackle on a number of occasions, and they've really got to do better in attack.
And maybe they will here, because this is Matty Ashurst, and he's got support, and Hampshire will go in for the first try of the second half to Wakefield. Ryan Hampshire, the referee points to the spot. Ryan Hampshire scores just what, as Bill Arthur was telling us, Chris Chester wanted. A little bit more venom in attack, and they've provided it through Ryan Hampshire, and that's closed the gap.
Well, they started well in the first half. They missed 2 opportunities that should have went to James Batchelor. Nice little play from Anthony England. The pre-line pass. When he goes at the line, you don't expect a big fella normally to tip the ball on, but he finds his half-back partner, Jacob Miller, out the back, gives it on to Ryan Hampshire, and this is exactly what they needed to build that confidence and get them back in the game.
The two defenders that were attracted to David Fafita, they'll be frustrated with themselves, as you said. Anthony England, David Fafita, two front rowers, two bookends that you wouldn't normally expect to put the ball behind or put a play on. But they completely outfoxed and outsmarted those defenders from St Helens.
And Ryan Hampshire, he's been fullback only once previously this year in a 22-25 defeat against Huddersfield at the Magic weekend in May. Early try has given them hope here, and Liam Finn has added the extras. They're back to within 8 points. And it's just what Wakefield needed.
There's a question about whether Danny Richardson was impeded by any of the Wakefield players, but nobody's really taken another look at that.
Stay offside!
And they needed the points. They needed to score first, and they've done it. You know, the try was set up, I suppose, with a break by Ashurst. His career has followed a similar path to a player in Super League about 20 years ago called Mike Forshaw. Wasn't initially successful at his first club, bounced around a few. By the time he got to his late 20s, people were starting to talk about him as a potential England international, a Great Britain player. Ashurst is in a similar vein. He's consistently worked hard to improve his game. He turns up in attack and defence, and he's a worry here for Saints in this in the remainder of this match.
That's good defence though on Anthony England. Good hit by Matty Lees. Zeb Taylor was in attendance as well. Wood gets the ball away again to David Fafita. He turned 29 yesterday, did Fafita, the Tongan. Wood, nice little run, but met by some vigorous defence. Peru last man off. Knowles the first, and Knowles chasing down Miller again. Here is Liam Finn. Oh, big collision then. Finn and a St Helens player, and the medical staff are on, and they've got the penalty of Wakefield for that.
It's Matty Lees. He puts pressure, keeps trotting, keeps moving. A young substitute forward, full commitment.
I think the thing with that is Finn's off the ground and he goes into collision with him there. You know, and it's not really an attempt to tackle. Okay. So it's just a penalty where the ball lands.
Finn is okay. Lees is okay. Well, for a moment it looked like he'd come off the worst. So 20-12. So 8 points the difference.
So do you keep running it, or do you go for 2 points and then it's just a converted try behind?
Not sure. What would you do?
They could kick a goal. Wigan kicked 3 penalty goals last night, didn't they? They still had time to score. Was it 7 tries or something like that? 8 tries by the time they got to the end of the game. There's lots of time for scoring tries. Getting closer here and getting the home team nervous.
But sometimes when you're behind on the scoreboard, again, it looks like a negative play, but realistically, mathematically, it brings you back to one converted try just behind Saints when you're playing away from home, but I think they're going to run it.
Yes, they are, and here comes Fafita. He's not going to run it, he's going to trundle it, and he trundles it to the 10-metre line, and then 3 of them get him down.
Hold!
Kyle Wood finds Finn. Finn delayed the pass and gave it to Miller. Here is Ashurst again. 2 tackles weathered by the Saints defence. A couple of metres shy of the line. Wood to England. Went into reverse, then straightened it up. England will play the ball to Wood once more. He'll find Miller. Short ball from Miller. Nothing doing.
Hold! You're contributing.
And Hampshire gets to his feet. Wood. Miller again. And Anakin. A-OK after the clash of heads. Goes down tackle number 5. Wood and Finn again. Paulie, the legs are going, the legs are still going. He's going to get over the line almost. But sheer weight of numbers beat the big fella then. But they turned it over on the Saints goal line.
Is that a 5-man tackle? I don't think I've ever seen 5 men work so hard there to pull down a big man near the line. There's 2, 3. A couple more joining in here now.
4, 5, 6.
He could be a good foil at the line, couldn't he? The ball out the back, everyone's lining up to take him.
Half the team it took to stop Paulie then. This is Regan Grace. Roby again. Saints inching away from their own line, making some bit of a head shot maybe from Fafita, not spotted. Matty Lees now.
Oh, he just scans the line, he's looking for a smaller man to pick up. There's nothing wrong with that, Eddie.
Well done, Tommy Makinson. Just plays his ball, gets on with his job.
Zebtea. Got two men hanging off him. Reece Lynn and Paulie. Last tackle here for Saints, so Richardson will hoist the kick. There's not much length on this. Well, who wants this? Good take by Johnson, as it turns out.
It's an attacking kick, Eddie. They didn't go for distance, they wanted. Danny Richardson was looking for one of his Saints teammates to challenge for that ball.
This is a good phase for Wakefield. Asking questions, running hard, a good defensive set. Well took by Johnston when the ball went high.
This is a high shot here.
Matty Lees gives his second penalty away. Footwork again from Bill Tupu. Such a difficult man to deal with.
So the ball is pushed into touch on the far side. Wakefield will start from 30-odd metres, 32, 33 metres out. With Miller again. And Fafita. He knows one way and keeps going. Eventually they stop him. Wood goes down the left-hand side. Lees has missed him.
Good work. Spotted Lees was a late retreater then.
Here's Finn now. Ashurst hit that at pace. 3 tackles remaining, and they're only a metre away, Wakefield. Here's Finn again. Gives it to England. To look forward, and it was. And Chris Chester holds his head in his hands.
Well, he knew that they were setting up on the right-hand side. They looked to hit the man who was running that lead. Gives it to England. Goes forward. There was players out the back looking to turn the ball up to Liam Finn, who was wrapping around the back, and that's what Chris Chester thinks of that play.
I've been watching Liam Finn. The last 2 or 3 sets, he's just been simply scooping the ball onto those bigger players. Players like Paulie, Anthony England on that occasion. He wants those big men to make a dent in the line. At some point, he'll have to start taking this Saints line on.
How about that from the K-Con? Widnes have taken the lead against Hull, and Hull Kingston Rovers are leading Huddersfield, which will be music to the ears of Leeds Rhinos. This is Luke Thompson again for the Saints.
Back on the field now to give him a lift, Ed.
Catalan Castleford tomorrow takes on significance for both of those sides. Top and bottom of the table. 5:10. Sky Sports action for that. Barber gets to his feet somewhat gingerly, plays it here to Percival. He finds Regan Grace. I get the feeling this one isn't over just yet. If Wakefield get another try, they will really have the tails up. Richardson's kick this time is deep, and is actually too deep.
Should that be ball back to where it's kicked from?
No. It's just gone dead, so it's a 20-metre restart as normal. Has been discussion about the handover being given where it's kicked from, but decided at the time it was going to stick with a 20-metre restart and a 7-tackle set.
Because that was out on the full.
Went out on the full, yeah.
Reece Lynn struggling over on the right-hand side. He pulled away from the tackle with Ben Barber. He's not moving very freely.
Your point was a good one, Eddie. You said it a moment or 2 ago. This game isn't over. It isn't over. If Saints aren't playing well, then Wakefield have the potential to roll St Helens at home. If Saints find that extra gear, the quality of side, the confidence, the strike that they've got, this game is theirs. But Wakefield haven't gone away yet.
They haven't. Men like England.
Move all the way.
Midway inside the Saints' half. Wood will have a little scamper, then gets the ball away to Fafita. He stands in the tackle, gets the ball back to England. He finds Finn. Finn then finds Paulie. He brushes away from Percival. He gets away from Knowles. He keeps going.
Wakefield have looked a different side since Kyle Wood has come onto the pitch.
Miller in towards the corner. Barber's after this. Oh, it's been picked up out of the air by Jacob Miller. And Jacob Miller scores for Wakefield. Wow, the match is very much alive. Jacob Miller with the try. Remember, A penalty try won the match here, 16-12 from Jacob Miller last year. This try is not going to win the match, but it's going to put Wakefield back within 2 points after the conversion. And Saints in the second half are just rocking a bit.
Such a busy player, isn't he, Jacob Miller? Puts himself where the action is. He kicks that ball, looks a bit of a scuffed kick, but instead of throwing his arms up, being frustrated, showing his disappointment, gets on his front foot, chases hard, puts himself there. Ben Barber can't deal with it.
No, when we look at this result here now, and where they are, Wakefield, in this game, people will say, well, Saints aren't playing well. I disagree. I think Saints are playing well, but I think Wakefield, we've got to give them some credit here.
Wakefield are playing really well.
They've been outstanding. Like I said before the game, Eddie, 3 out of the last 4 games have been decided by 4 points or less. This Wakefield side aren't a side at normally at the bottom of the table. Now, they do have the sights towards the top end now.
Absolutely. And Jacob Miller captain for tonight in the absence of Danny Kermond, and he'll probably keep that job till the end of the season, because Kermond looks like he's going to be ruled out for at least the next 3 months. So Liam Finn here to get Wakefield back within 2, and he's a great goal kicker, Liam Finn, and that's exactly where they are. 20 points to 18. And the debate will rage on the Wakefield bench about that possible penalty try with Ben Barber kicking the ball away in the first half now.
Well, they can have that debate after the game. They've got enough time here now to still win it, haven't they? They've had a couple of penalties that have helped in this second half, and they've put a massive effort in, and as a result, they've come up with the points that put them really now within touching distance. And this is more fascinating now for the home team. How do they react?
Well, how indeed. I mean, they played some scintillating stuff in the first half. We were all purring with delight at the way they were playing and how good they were to watch. But now, well, they're in a bit of a battle.
Well, I think the forwards are really taking this game to them, aren't they? You look at the strong carries, the numbers that they get in, they're sapping the energy. Keegan Hurst now prowling the sideline. Looks like he's okay, Eddie, to come back on.
Morgan Knowles doing well. Make sure that Kyle Wood wasn't going anywhere further forward. Anthony England again here.
Hold!
Kyle Wood. And there was a chance there for Anakin. Wood again. This is a deep kick. Oh, Barber's knocked it on.
He has made a difference. That's an outstanding kick from dummy half. The questions he's asking, he's got such speed, Kyle Wood, and he doesn't think about it.
This is a bad mistake, though, from the man of the moment.
You know, if it was a 17-year-old player, we'd be saying, oh, look, he's just starting out in his career. He's been the best player so far in the season, but I wondered what that week's rest would do to him. Some players don't benefit from the momentum of a season being interrupted. No fixture last week for St. Helens. England playing, of course, in Denver. Ben Barber hasn't been as impressive here tonight as we have in the first half of the season, or, in fact, you know, even not that long ago. But the last try, you could say, he was out-jumped by Jacob Miller. This try here now, he might have just set another one up.
All square at the cake on. Hull FC 24, Widnes 24. Here, 20 points to 18. Hampshire. Reece Lynn. Oh, he gets away from Percival. Does Reece Lynn? He gets so close. Wow, they fancy their chances, Wakefield. Oh, they will here. That's Mason Caton Brown. Mason Caton Brown has put Wakefield ahead. He's pinched one from dummy half. And Mason Caton Brown crowns his comeback. He's missed all 4 since the Magic weekend. That's his 4th try of the season. And, well, Michael Carter, the Wakefield chairman, he looks calm, but I bet his heart is beating out of his shirt right now. Mason Caton Brown has put Wakefield ahead here with 25 minutes to go.
Well, we're never used to seeing that man make a mistake, and Ben Barber, he's lit Super League up, but what about this Wakefield side? They've absolutely shown no respect for Saints in this second half, and you said when they come out, Eddie, they've got to be the first to score. Well, they've certainly backed themselves, and Mason Caton Brown, Ben Barber's the man who shoots the line, and when he shoots the line, and they come off the back of this real strong run from Reece Lynn, Ben Barber's the man who's tight to the ruck, he shoots the line, he opens the space, and that's what Caton Brown sees.
Zeb Tyre will be so disappointed with his reaction there. Mason Caton Brown goes down low, but the big back rower is too tall, too high, and has no chance of stopping that player once he decides to go.
Well, I said they had to be the first to score. They've been the first, second and third to score. And that's been denied. He missed with that, with Liam Finn. That would have given them a 4-point advantage.
Could be a big miss, that, couldn't it?
It seemed to go right over the top of the post. And Ben Barber's error has changed the complexion of this match. Mason Caton-Brown with the try. Now remember, they won 16-12 here last year. They're also looking for consecutive away wins against St Helens, as well as trying to climb up this table tonight. Something that Wakefield have achieved only once previously since the war. September 1960, they won 18-5 in the league here and 15-10 in the cup in February of that year. There is history on the line here for Wakefield in 2018. There is news from the sideline of one of the Wakefield stars, though. Bill.
Yes, James Batchelor will not be coming back for Wakefield, and on an evening when there might be some tired bodies out there, energy-sapping conditions, the fact that Wakefield are one man short on the sidelines is going to be a disadvantage surely for them, because you get the feeling with John Wilkin returning to the fray for Saints that they are going to ratchet it up now, and the crowd getting behind them, and Saints are going to have to respond. We're going to see what the Super League leaders are made of now. And just one other line from the Wakefield camp. They are hoping that Paulie can keep going out there, because he has made a big impact, as you'd expect from such a big guy.
He has. This time Barber pouches the kick downfield cleanly, but under pressure from Hampshire and Reece Lynn.
Not dealing with it well. As soon as he touches the ground, they're getting on top of him straight away. Really targeting the back three for Saints, not letting him get on the roll, not letting him get forward with those quick looks that we're normally used to seeing.
James Roby with a run, halted by Paulie. That's 2 tackles in a row for him. He collared Regan Grace.
Ben Barber's coming off the field as well now, Ben.
That's interesting. And he doesn't look too impressed either. He's taken the strappings off. Is that a sign he's not coming back tonight?
Well, it's a sign that he's not happy.
Saints aren't happy. Morgan Knowles. He is anything but impressed. Richardson down the line to Morgan. Morgan with a kick down the line. Fielded by Hampshire. Hampshire then gets the ball to Mason Caton-Brown. Wilkin gets to him.
Even that defensive line wasn't there. Then the tip on to Caton-Brown finds a few more meters extra going forward.
Just a word on the reshuffle of St Helens now. Johnny Lomax has gone back to full-back. Theo Farge came onto the pitch. He'll go into the halves. Will that change the dynamics and the point of attack for Saints? I'm afraid it won't if they keep giving penalties away.
2 efforts there from Regan Grace to prevent a quick play of the ball for Reece Lynn. The tackle completed, and he came back for a second snap.
Well, for Wakefield to go away with the 2 league points here, they've got to make sure that they respect the ball, they're disciplined, they turn the ball over on their terms, and they give the ball to the likes of Liam Finn and Jacob Miller. But you ask any halfback where they want to play, it's in the opposition's half. And all they're doing is just sending the forwards forward and playing off that.
Well, Wakefield were 6 points to 20 down at half-time. That's going to be a huge win for Hull Kingston Rovers against Huddersfield. Joel Tompkins as well was one of the try scorers for them tonight, the new signing from Wigan. This will be a huge win for Wakefield if they can secure it, but there's a long way to go yet. But this man, Paulie,
I think
been asked to carry on.
I think you want to give him early ball on Theo Farge, wouldn't you? Try and get a one-on-one there.
Wood has made a big difference. Finn across the face of the play to Miller. Here is Hampshire. Hampshire wide to Tupu. Good tackle by Ryan Morgan. Oh, and a penalty though, because Morgan didn't clear the ruck.
Good reaction as well from Tupu. Look at this when he gets over the top of Morgan. Morgan's just got hold of his legs. Can't get out the way, can't clear the ruck. Penalty.
So another set of 6 for Wakefield, 5 metres from the St Helens line. Here is Miller, now it's with Finn. And Finn to Keegan Hurst. Good job with Batchelor off the field that he passed the head test. Here's Wood again down the short side. He gives it to Miller. Short pass to Hampshire. Good hands again. Tom Johnson. Johnson! He scores the try for Wakefield. Second try for Tom Johnson. There is a big shock on the way tonight. Tom Johnson, wonderful hands from Wakefield down that short side. Whatever Chris Chester said to his men at half-time has worked wonders. He's waved the magic wand, and Justin Holbrook's men now are 6 points adrift with a conversion to come. Tom Johnson, second try of the night. Wow.
Well, terrific setup from Wakefield. They knew exactly what they were doing, players in the correct position, running those lines. Here's the penalty. Ryan Morgan holds on too much. It's been a great battle between those two centres over on that side of the pitch. A lovely weighted ball from Jacob Miller. And what about the hands from Ryan Hampshire, taking the place of young Max Jowett tonight? That's what he brings. Beautiful stuff for Wakefield.
Plenty of movement, wasn't there, in the Wakefield shirts? You see Saints, they were wedging in, they're jamming in, and all of a sudden, nice hands at the back from Hampshire. It still took some scoring though, didn't it, from Johnson? Wow, he's a strong, fabulous player.
Delight for Wakefield, and stand by for a possible hat-trick for Tom Johnson, because he's scored hat-tricks twice this year. Home and away against Hull Kingston Rovers. And they're the only times in the game that he scored more than twice in a match. So he's got a chance. Oh, he's hit the post as Liam Finn. 4 points have gone begging from the boot of Finn. How priceless, how costly will that be as Ryan Morgan leaves the field?
Well, set up some great drama, isn't it? Ryan Morgan seems to be leaving the field with a head test. But you know what? It strikes me that Tom Johnston must have arrived here with a determination. If I want to play for England, I've got to outplay the man opposite me, Tom Makinson. He did so well last week in his debut, and he's been fantastic, hasn't he? That was a great finish from a winger there. Time and space was limited, but he did the most. That kick's gone straight out over the back line, and it'll be a penalty to Wakefield. Everything going wrong for the Saints.
He knew as soon as he kicked that ball, Danny Richardson, he stabbed at the ball, pulled his foot back.
Well, he's asked the video referee Ben Thaler just to check this, because he was up the halfway line, was James Child.
Well, the touch on the dead ball line, he wasn't 100% certain, but I think we can see the ball lands on the line there. He actually signalled ball back straight away. That was his decision. I don't think there's anything there that's going to give us anything different.
Yeah. Ball on the line is out, Stuart.
That's right, on the line is out.
Wimbledon next week, on the line will be in.
Not in the Super League.
At the Super League at St Helens, on the line is out. So, another chance for Wakefield.
There's some relieved players there in Wakefield shirts. High-fiving each other then when that ball and the decision was made.
Time back on. And look at the touch judge, perfectly positioned.
Might get an invite to SW19 Eddie there. He's in the right spot.
Wait for the fall. Only ever been to work, but never had a strawberry and cream in my life. Oh, you mean the touch judge?
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's a bit presumptuous.
I thought you were talking about me. I might get with a mention for that.
Is Richard Lewis, does he still work down there?
Well, I think he still does.
You might. You never know. Just check the post this week, Eddie. Check the post.
Well, thanks, Phil. You've done your best. We're back. Can't make it. We've got to go to Huddersfield on Thursday.
It's a 2-week tournament.
This is Paulie.
Move or make it fall.
Now it's Kyle Wood. Wakefield are so excited, aren't they? Miller.
His accuracy in the passes, the speed when they're running the ball.
Well, he couldn't give another penalty there, James Child, surely, and he didn't. This is Ryan Hampshire. Oh, Hampshire has been missed again. Miller. Paulie just picked that out of the air. He'll take it back where all those tired bodies are. He runs straight at Morgan Knowles, straight at James Roby. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook in there to lend a bit of weight and bring him down. Wood is scheming either side. He goes on his own, but gives it straight to Lomax, but then recovers enough to get the tackle in.
Good positioning and good play the ball from Johnny Lomax.
Now they've got two men wide. That's forward. It looked it from up here. No, play on. Here goes Percival, and Percival has got Regan Grace, and Regan Grace has to cut back inside, and Regan Grace, a wonderful try. A second try for Regan Grace. Well, the kick to the in-goal area by Wood, it was a a chance worth taking, but when you look back at that now, you'll probably think that was the wrong option, because it gave St Helens the possession. Although Wood got the tackle in initially, they simply couldn't stop the Saints. And from one end of the field to the other, Percival's run, and Grace then with the dancing feet. And it's 24-26.
Well, just when you think you have them, all of a sudden they can do this here, and it was the play of the ball from Johnny Lomax that gets them out of trouble. The speed of which they attack. All the Wakefield players did a good job here to get back, but then try and prevent this man. He is one of those players that gets you on the edge of your seat. Look at this, perfect positioning, gets forward, lands on his front, plays the ball quickly, and then all of a sudden they just look to play close to the line. It led to a try in the first half for Wakefield, but they give the ball to Mark Percival, and look at Regan Grace here. When he gets it, he knows he's got 4 players to beat, gets the afterburners on. Wow, he is some talent in.
You just have to applaud good rugby sometimes. Rugby league played at that standard, at that level. I'm just putting myself in the mind of Louis McCarthy's scars, but right at the beginning of that play, he carts the ball up, turns to one of his teammates and passes it. I bet there were a few players in the crowd and on the sideline taking a sharp intake of breath.
Well, Danny Richardson here to try and level the scores. Oh, and he's missed it. He has missed it. The nerves are getting to the kickers. Liam Finn's missed 2, and Danny Richardson has just missed that one. And that is Danny Richardson's first error of the night with the boot. Well, look, we've got the man of the match vote opening shortly. There are candidates everywhere tonight. They all came from Wigan last night, the 4 candidates. Tonight they could go either way. Wakefield with their noses in front inside the last quarter of an hour. You vote these days via the Our League app, and one of the former greats of the game has been watching this with you tonight. He'll come up with 4 names, and you will be able to make your vote via the Our League app.
Let's go, mate. Come on, Ryan.
I'll tell you who the 4 are shortly.
Well, Chris Chester sent on his big gun. Now David Fafita, he's had a bit of a break, comes on for Chris Hannikin now, looking to give him a bit of a lift and help Paulie.
2 points the lead. Zeb Teya driving Wakefield back. Here is Roby. A couple of penalties from the whistle of James Child certainly helped Wakefield. And there's one for Saints that will help. Tinaroa Rona.
Well, that's just the effort from Luke Thompson just to try and get up to play the ball as quick as he can. He gets through the line, through a couple of big defenders, and that's just easy meters now.
And listen to the Saints supporters, they now can sense something. Here is Thompson. What a great run again from Luke Thompson. What a season he's having. Roby into centre field to Richardson. Here is John Wilkin. He finds Teya. Grounded by the challenge of Paulie. Douglas will drive it towards the posts. There are 4 men there to prevent him, and the post padding as well. Roby waits, fires the pass to Theo Farge. Back he comes to Richardson. Here is Percival. Very good on the ground by Mason Caton Brown. Held on to him. Teya waits a dummy half. Fires the pass to Richardson. Richardson then to Roby. Had to stretch for it. Gives it to Lomax. This is Knowles. McCarthy Scarsbrook. Back to Knowles. Knowles gets the ball away brilliantly. Roby! Who else? Who else but James Roby? A wonderful try from St Helens. The second in quick succession. Well, he got 100 tries for Saints after 1 against Hull KR in the last home game here. That was a personal milestone. This might be even more important in the context of tonight, because Saints are back in front.
It's the intensity of the run from Thompson that gets him through contact, and his fight forces the whistle. I want to pay credit to Morgan Knowles. Started the game on the bench, runs a hard line here, stays involved, and at this point, you think the play's dead. He gets that quality offload away, and as you quite rightly say, the captain, the leader, the bloke who you want with the ball in his hands, James Roby, head down and scores that try.
Always comes up with the big plays. He's also made 42 tackles in this game. He's an absolute phenomenal talent, described by Justin Holbrook last year as the best player in the Super League competition.
And the coach there is leading the applause for a wonder try from Roby. And the way Saints kept that alive, that had St Helens written all over it. Now then, can Richardson add the extras this time? Yes, he can. 30 points to 26. It's not over yet, though, boys.
Well, we could write the script for a perfect or ideal Super League contest. I think it would follow the pattern that we've seen for almost 70 minutes here. Lots of tries, some controversy, and some drama that I'm sure we're going to have in the last 10 minutes. Whether the Wakefield side have got the spirit here now and the ability to come back and score again. Tyler Randall comes back onto the field, and it looks as though they've stacked this side here. He's kicked it into a midfield position here now. And we've seen that they've got the ability to get across the line, but Saints, have they got the composure here now and the concentration to close it out?
11 minutes to go, and let's give you now the names of the man of the match contenders. Well, Jacob Miller of Wakefield, James Roby of St Helens. That try just might have settled it for him, we'll see. Matty Ashurst had a big game, and Tom Johnson, of course, with 2 tries. All worthy contenders there. Miller, Roby, Ashurst or Johnson. Make your mind up time. Vote now on the Our League app. Zeb Taylor again for Saints. On halfway, he's broken the first challenge. He's through, he's got support. He gives it to Richardson. Richardson's got 2 men out wide, he's gone the wrong way. He's been pointed back that way by Lomax, but there were plenty of Wakefield defenders waiting for him. Came back left, should have gone right. There were 2 men free. However, Saints still in possession with 2 tackles remaining. Taylor again. Brought to ground by Fifita. 10 minutes to go. Last tackle for St Helens. They're 4 points ahead. Theo Farge stabs the kick through, looking for Lomax. They're going to get an extra set. They're going to get an extra set. Ryan Hampshire just couldn't get out of jail there.
Impossible, Eddie, for him to get down on the ground, beat a man. As soon as he's looking at getting the ball, he just can't do anything. And Zeb Taylor gets through. The end of play is flooding forward. Richardson, he's bouncing around. Louis McCarthy was pushing up on his right-hand side. He doesn't go with him, then he runs around in the cul-de-sac. And then the clever kick from Theo Farge, and look at that for an effort. Mark Percival holding Hampshire up, along with Johnny Lomax, not letting him get to ground.
Little shrug of the shoulders from Hampshire as well. He knew how good that attack was. Deep goal line dropout though to halfway. Here comes Luke Thompson, look out. Paulie went for him and missed him. Fifita didn't. Roby, Wilkin, Douglas. That's 2 gone, but Saints 15 metres away, looking to close this game out. Theo Farge, Richardson, that's not gone. It's going to be 6 to go from Johnson. Nakinson got it. 0 tackle call by James Child. 6 from here then. Richardson to Farge. Here's Wilkin. Now Douglas. Douglas drives it forward. The Saints go marching in. The crowd starts to get its voice. They were quiet earlier. This is Richardson again. Nice little dummy. Nearly took it to Anakin. Hit the deck, but Fifita and Arona pulled him down. In the shadow of the Wakefield post, Zeb Taylor backing his way towards the line. Oh, has he got this down? I think he has, Zeb Taylor. Yes! Try for St Helens. David Fifita says no. James Charles says yes, and his is the view that matters. And St Helens have turned the game upside down in the last quarter of this match. 4 tries from Wakefield in the opening quarter of the second half. 3 tries now for St Helens in the closing quarter, and St Helens are 34-26 ahead.
Well, this is why there's so many people's favourites to get to Old Trafford come the end of the year. Like Zeb Taylor, we've got so many top-line players who never give in. All the hard work that they keep doing during the 80 minutes. And Wakefield have given absolutely everything for 72 minutes. A little switch off here. Paulie pulls away from the tackle. Zeb Taylor still with the presence of mind to work extra hard and get over the try line.
Stuart, what do you think, having seen that?
Well, having a quick look at that, I think his arm's grounded. and then he makes a second movement to put the ball over the line.
And that's probably why David Fafita was in the face of James Child asking for it to be referred upstairs.
Well, it certainly looks like a double movement because his momentum doesn't take him all over the line. He actually projects the ball on again.
And Richardson has pulled this one the wrong side of the upright. So damage limitation, Zeb Taylor's try. They've had a couple of things to complain about tonight, Chris Chester and co.
You can see here,
this again.
The ball carrying arm is on the ground at that point, and then he promotes it again onto the line.
Still safe!
And that's what David Fafita was talking about to James Child, but in James Child's opinion, and his is the one that counts, it was a try. And it's on the board, and as they say, read about it in the papers, and here Wakefield get the ball back, but I think it was stolen on the deck from Danny Richardson illegally.
And that's it, isn't it, Eddie? A couple of things go for you and against you. The one in the first half when they got it disallowed, was it the Ben Barber one? Was it kick the ball out? Then obviously that one.
Hold!
Was he tackled, Stuart?
Well, he called surrender tackle. The referee had called the tackle. Okay. So that, you know, as soon as he's called that, they can't go in and then take the ball.
Well, Wakefield will feel that they've been hard done by on a couple of occasions. And a couple of the decisions that have gone against them. Douglas with another solid run.
That is a good carry on 74 minutes, that from Douglas.
On a night like this, tip on from Richardson finds Percival. Is Percival on his way to the sideline? I think he is. Well, the ball's gone forward anyway, so it doesn't matter. Wakefield have got it back. Here's a Rona. Spreading the play from one side of the field to the other. Miller's pass was awful.
It's a free play. It's a free play, so
yeah,
he'll come back.
Is it Mark Percival who, as he was going into touch, he's offloaded the ball?
Time's off already. It's all right, mate. Here we are.
He's offloaded the ball forward. And
just back up.
Yeah, scrappy play.
It was worth, I suppose, taking the chance, but had the pass been better, you never know.
Well, they knew that they still had this play up the back, didn't they? Up the sleeve, sorry.
In the bag, up the sleeve.
In the bag, up the sleeve.
The sleeve's up the bag, and the bag's in the sleeve. Full time at Hull. It's a brave effort from Witness again, but beaten. 31-24.
Tight tens at loose forward.
So Hull are continuing their efforts to get into the top four and stay there. Fafita now finds Ashurst. Johnson. Remember, twice before this season he scored 2 tries. He's gone on to score hat-tricks both times. Not now, though.
Hold!
5 minutes to go. Oof. That looked a tired pass. Here's Randall.
You're right, Eddie. They're flat at the minute, Wakefield. They need a bit of a spark. They need something. They're struggling for metres.
Well, the Grace try, the Roby try, just took the wind out of their sails. But here they come. The game, there's no doubt about that.
When they were at the best, they were playing off some big charges. Those charges seem to have stopped at present. What can this man do now? Can he come up with one of those?
He does. He gets the ball away as well to Hampshire. Wood is back on. They look good when he's been on. Nice little pass out the back from Miller.
Need to be scanning that defensive line, looking for a tired defender. He may be a bit of a weakness.
That's one here. They've got men on the wide run. Hampshire is one of them. Oh, and he was looking for Johnson. All he did was find Tony Martin, the touch judge.
Just runs out of space, doesn't he? Runs towards the touchline. As soon as he makes the angle over, and Tom Johnson's got to cut inside of him, not hug the touchline.
On the cross, mate.
Well, they won't go home wondering tonight, Wakefield, will they? They'll go home cursing, I'm sure of that.
Well, they've been courageous, but like that play and other players that will follow now, they're going to have to be desperate, aren't they? Behind on the scoreboard, 8 points.
Yeah. Catch up in 3.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, they've just got to throw absolutely everything.
Makinson.
Saints making a lane change, Eddie. They've got the fortune of being able to bring Dominic Peru, hasn't he played well? Luke Thompson in 2 short spells.
Here's Roby, Willie Saints man who's a contender for man of the match. Peru, look at that from him. Yeah, the injury to James Batchelor has cost Wakefield as well. This is Wilkin. Back he comes to Farge. Here's Morgan Knowles. They stop him eventually on tackle number 5. Farge into Wilkin. Here's Richardson. Now it's Peru again. Flicks the pass straight into the arms of Chris Anakin.
And they were more or less on the sideline here on the left-hand side. Theo Farge chose to pass the ball in field instead of kicking it off the field and going to a scrum. That's the attitude of Saints. They want to attack. Even with the 8-point lead, they don't want to just let the clock tick down. They want more points.
Warrington have beaten Salford. Here Saints are on the cusp of beating Wakefield. What a brave effort. Oh, Percival's nicked it. Percival has nicked it, and St Helens march on at the top of the table. Mark Percival with his 17th try, or has he? Well, there more than one man in that tackle. Oh, he's got no try in the field. Check the ball steal, please. Ben Taylor, the video referee.
Well, it certainly looked like he was about to blow for that, but I think he realised that Percival had a clear run to the line, so he decided to let it run. And see at the point the ball comes out, is there another man in there? Yes, I think he's just put his hand on Morgan Knowles. Yeah. Just put his right arm on Miller, just as he comes in. I think you see there, that's a two-man tackle.
Yeah, Percival's going for the ball. Knowles doesn't know he's going to get it. He comes in, he touches him. That's deemed to be 2 men in the tackle. So this is going to be wiped clean. So maybe it's not all, well, it is all over because there's only less than 2 minutes to go and 8 points. So no try. Chalked off by Ben Taylor, rightly.
Said already, still going for points, weren't he? That man who played very well last week in Denver. You know, we all talk about Justin Holbrook, and he must be a candidate for Coach of the Year, but what about Chris Chester? Finished 5th last year, he's up there at the top this year. I think he's done a tremendous job.
Biggest thing for me tonight was Justin Holbrook's decision to bring Ben Barber off. I think it was just less than 60 minutes gone. I don't know whether Barber's injured. He has put ice on his leg. He didn't seem injured when he walked off the field. There was no obvious complaint. The coach has clearly shown he's in charge. If it was just a decision that he wasn't happy with how he played. And shortly after that, Johnny Lomax was in a brilliant position on the try that turned the game, didn't he, when Regan Grace ended up scoring at the end of the field. We never know whether Barber would have been in the right position for that, but wait for the lush on the last attempt.
And they're going to get in. No, they're not. Super defence from St Helens.
This is on 0 tackle. Got no try, check in touch.
No try on the field, they just want to check in touch. Maybe the ball was grounded after all.
Correct.
If Ben Barber's got ice anywhere, I wonder whether it should be on his fist as he hit the chair as he sat down. Anyway, Stuart, sorry.
That's okay. Touch judge believes that that he had his foot in touch as he went over. You can see that he's got possession of the ball.
This will be a wonder try if it's given, you know.
It will. Does he get the ball down first of all? I think from what we see there, I don't think he's in touch at that point. We just need to see where his feet are.
Trouble is,
the
there's legs all over the place with Wakefield socks on them.
He'll do well to get his feet in touch there. They're both in the air.
Well, you're absolutely right. What about his left? Who's left?
Who's left?
That's
that?
Mason Kate.
Yeah, there's a lot of yellow around. I don't think
he's got to really.
We've got 2 yellow
legs.
boots.
Well, Reece Lynn has his socks rolled down. Mason Caton Brown has his socks rolled up.
I was just looking for yellow. There's a lot of yellow in that shot. And there's his yellow boots up in the air. I think this ball's grounded.
And it's a try.
And I think it's a try. There we are.
Big effort, big effort.
His shoulders off the ground as he's not in touch.
They're going to get this. They're going to get this with Reece Lynn. And this will add to the story of the bravery tonight. It's given. Now, if you were Wakefield, fellas, would you take the conversion or would you say, forget that, because he's out here on the touchline? I think they've decided that that's not what they're going to do.
They're not going for it.
That is exactly what they're going to do. They're going to spurn the chance of 2 points, because that wouldn't help them. But when they get possession from this kickoff, and the clock will stop when the touch judges are in position.
Well, the thinkers, aren't they?
They'll have 45 seconds, maybe. He's called time off now, so it's slightly, yeah, 45 or thereabouts.
44. Here we go. Do you know, it's similar.
Barry didn't come in with the number there, by the way.
It was similar to the try that Joe Moon scored last night, wasn't it? Everyone thought that he hadn't got the try.
Wow.
Comes up with a big effort there. These players, these outside backs are absolute athletes. Some of the tries that we've seen on Super League on Sky Sports this year, they're tremendous. Both sides not giving up.
They did have another option. They could have taken a drop kick at goal, which would have still counted as 2 points, which would have been quicker.
Okay, here we go then. This is Wakefield's last hurrah. And Mason Caton-Brown with 30 seconds remaining. Here is David Fifita. Gets the ball away to Wood. This is Miller. It goes wide to Ashurst. He keeps it going. Bill Tupu. He slips the net. Oh, the ball's come free. St Helens have won. St Helens have claimed it. It's all over now. 6 tries apiece, though. What an effort from Wakefield Trinity here tonight at the home of the runaway league leaders. They've been given the most almighty scare. They say if you just keep winning when you're maybe not 100% and you've got 5 men coming back from Denver, you have the name champions written all over you.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. How many times have we watched St Helens just about do enough to get the points? James Roby run his blood to water, but when the chips were down, when the game looked like it was going away, they had a level of composure, and even though Wakefield Trinity can consider themselves unlucky to be on the wrong end of the scoreboard, some things went against them. But if they play like that for their coach, they will win some games at the back end, at the business end.
When you look at Wakefield, I think that they were so courageous, that they like to turn up here, they're runaway leaders, and to come up with a performance like that for the full 80 minutes as well, and just go down by 4 points and realistically lose on the conversions or missed conversions. I think they'll take an awful lot of heart from this, but the Saints side, well, they're just quality, aren't they? Right through the ranks from top to bottom.
Well, they're tremendous to watch, but Wakefield have given them a hell of a scare tonight. It was always going to be a bit dodgy, perhaps, with those 5 men coming back, even though Luke Thompson didn't play for England, the other 4 did. And coming back from Denver and the altitude and the heat and the international, the toughest game that James Roby has ever played in for a long, long time, he said. Well, James Roby, of course, scored a vital try, and he was the only St Helens player on the list for a Man of the Match award here tonight. So who is the Betfred Super League Man of the Match tonight? Well, there you are. It's not Bill, it's James Roby.
James, congratulations on a Man of the Match performance, a crucial try, and even then, it was right down to the wire, this one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, you know, I'm sure for everyone watching, it was a very exciting game, and Wakefield, you know, full credit to them, they played brilliant today and really tested us out, and obviously, you know, then they went ahead there in that second half. We needed a response, and, you know, luckily, like I say, I got over for a little try there, but, you know, there's definitely areas we can improve on, but like I say, it was a good old-fashioned tough game.
And they're a side that cause you problems. When they beat you at their place, and they've given you a good run for your money tonight, they bring the best out in you.
Yeah, of course they do. They, like you say, they beat us at their place, and then we talked about that in the week. We wanted to right the wrong, if you like. And, you know, they've come here tonight and almost done the same. So, you know, full credit to them. They're a quality team, and they're playing very well at the minute.
You'll be looking forward to putting your feet up, won't you, after a pretty busy week. Has the England involvement sort of had an impact late on? Have you any fatigue from you and the other guys that were involved?
Not so much now, I reckon. Maybe for a couple of days after we got back. But, you know, the club, the medical staff, they look after us, and they didn't kind of throw us straight into full-blown training. So, you know, they looked after us, and, you know, come today, we're all fine. So we wanted to back up anyway. We wanted to play all the lads who've been over to Denver. You know, we want to be straight back in the team and straight back to winning ways.
Well, winning ways tonight. You got the Man of the Match. You got a cheque for a charity of your choice as well. Where's that going to go?
I'll send it to Group B Strep Support, please. It's you know, saving lives, newborn babies.
James, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Cheers.
Matty Ashurst returned to familiar territory, and oh, blimey, that was close. 1 or 2 kicks going your way, 1 or 2 decisions. Could have been a different story.
Yeah, exactly. It's a close game, nip and tuck. They had momentum, then we had it, and we just couldn't stop them at the end there when they got the momentum back. That full length try was a killer. But yeah, got to be proud of our effort there.
Especially the start of the second half, because you needed to score immediately after the restart, and you hit the ground running.
Yeah, we started the second half really well. Like I say, we got the momentum back there. think we scored 3 tries in a row, but we just couldn't stop them when they got it back. But yeah, we're not too far away. We've lost a few against a few of them top teams by 2 points, 4 points, and that's just the difference at the minute. We're not getting home in them tight games against the top team.
Matty, thanks very much for talking to us.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Chris Chester's the Wakefield coach, and that's maybe a case of what might have been in terms of bounce of the ball or the direction of the ball with a couple of kicks and 1 or 2 decisions.
Oh, listen, I'm frustrated, disappointed, but also very proud of that group of players that took the field tonight. We came here to throw the ball around. We knew that, you know, just knocking a sets out and getting into an arm wrestle, we weren't going to win a game like that. And you know, bounce of the ball. I want to look at that James Batchelor decision as well, where he put his arm over the line, goes to put the ball over the line and gets it kicked out. Yeah, I think so. Like I said, I need to have a look at that again. But listen, I'm extremely proud of the guys tonight. I thought we'd give it a real good dig. You know, not many teams would have come back from that deficit that we did tonight, and you know, we kicked them goals and a bit better game management. We might have come away with a win, but credit to Saints. The entertainers out there, they're called, and you know, like I said, very frustrated.
Is there a sense of, oh no, we haven't done enough? You almost felt as though you'd got the game, and then it's St Helens.
Yeah, I thought we'd done enough. I thought we had done enough, and again, we could just come up with a poor last play option and give a penalty away, and they go the full length of the field, and you know, it's them little parts of the game that we just need to be better. I just thought his last tackle plays weren't great tonight, but listen, I'm extremely proud of the guys tonight. I thought they were very, very good, and there's not many teams that'll score 30-odd points against Saints at home.
Chris, thanks very much.
Cheers, Bill.
And Justin Holbrook, finally, the Saints coach, and a relieved Saints coach. They bring the best out in you, this Wakefield side, don't they?
Oh yeah, you know, I was just really happy to win that one. You know, full credit to Wakefield. They took control of that second half and dominated for most parts. But you know, I'm still really proud of us. We easily could have just lied down and said it's not our night, and a few things didn't go our way, from most of it our own doing. So, but you know, we hung in there and good enough to win, and I'm really happy with that. As I said against after Leeds, you know, you've got to win all different ways, and we did some things to make it really hard on ourselves, but you know, couldn't be happier to dig deep and come away with a win.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't found yourselves in that situation too often this season, and it maybe was a bit of a test in that respect.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you know, we're going to be in all different positions, and as I said, I'm really happy to come away with a win there when it looked like, you know, we could have stuck our hand up and said it's not our night, but yeah, really proud of the boys.
You took Ben Barber off, who didn't appear to be injured. Was that a tactical switch?
No, he was injured. He copped the knock right at the end of the first half when he made that long break, and we start and see how he went, and then he sort of got a bit, I want to stay out here, and I thought, hang on, yeah.
He's not very good at being taken off, is he?
Oh, no, he's fine with it, yeah. It was the right thing to do, you know. As I said, we could have done it at half-time. In hindsight, it would have been better for us, but yeah, you love hindsight over. But, you know, full credit to Ben. He wanted to stay out there, but it wasn't the right thing for him to do. So, and really pleased for the boys to just crack on after that. You know, Tio slotted in and Johnny outstanding at fullback. So, really happy to win that.
Thanks, Justin.
Cheers. Thanks, Bill.
See you soon.
Yeah, mate.
17th win of the season for Justin Holbrook and St Helens. Too good in the end for Wakefield Trinity, but only just. Half-time scoreline was 20-6 in favour of the home side. Well, 34-30 at the very end will tell you about Wakefield Trinity's second half comeback. We can get the thoughts on that second half comeback from John Wells shortly. Just here's a quick look at the match stats. St Helens will still probably look at that completion rate and see it as 69% and down from what they would hope. Wakefield completed high, but it ultimately did not get the results. 22 missed tackles is pretty decent effort from the visitors. They were in action, of course, just last Sunday against Widnes. Right, pulsating game, particularly that second 40 minutes. John Wells, take us through it.
Thanks very much, Brian. Well, Justin Holbrook, he's correct, isn't he, when he says that they're very, very grateful to have the win. They had to work extremely hard for it as well. Straight off the second half whistle, it seemed, it was Ryan Hampshire that capitalised back on the inside from a great break from Matty Ashurst, 20 points to 12, and then that was reduced to just a 2-point deficit when Jacob Miller's followed up his own scuffed bomb to take it to 20 points to 18. Mason, Kate and Brown put them in front for the first time in the game on 55 minutes, and then Tom Johnston with his second, bagging a brace for Trinity, took them to 20 points to 26, an unlikely 20 points to 26. Regan Grace, I guess this signalled the fight back from St Helens, didn't it? Because they conceded 20 unanswered points in under 20 minutes at that stage, and when Grace bagged his brace, that reduced the arrears to just 2 points. And then they turned to Mr Dependable, the man of the match this evening, and the man who has lit up Super League for so many years, and graced this turf and that of Knowsley Road before. Nothing particularly outstanding about this, other than he's in the right place at the right time, something he's made a career out of. Zebteya, well, he wasn't the last to score. We thought he was maybe going to be. There's a little bit of an issue that we'll have a closer look at on that try in just a second. And then Reece Lynn, just to show that Trinity are not done as a force in 2018. Cross for the final score. Nice little piece of smart play from Reece in the corner. 4-point ball game. Wakefield can go back across the Pennines with the head held high, Brian. But ultimately, the game breaker for me in a great team performance were a couple of key involvements from Zebteya. I thought he was excellent in the first half, providing some really good lines to give the outside back some space, in which they capitalised. Have a look at this. This was on 71 minutes after the Roby try, so they'd gone 4 points in front. This sort of stuff is absolutely golden for your team, because they were running out of steam, didn't look like they have much incision into that Wakefield defensive line, and that all of a sudden changes the conversation in that defence, in that Wakefield defence. They're desperate. And then Zebteya again with the try. You know, the determination, the effort to get across, you cannot doubt. What you can question maybe is a couple of times this evening, one right at the start of the game, with Batchelor getting the ball kicked away from Ben Barber, and then one right at the end of the game, because this, for me, is the ball carrying arm grounded. It doesn't matter whether the ball's grounded or not. The ball carrying arm in the rule book, that's grounded. That's tackle complete. So this is a double movement, and you can understand why David Fafita was so frustrated. You just wonder. Well, you don't wonder. I guess what you ask for as fans and pundits of the game and coaches and players is, you know, not that we do or we don't go to the video referee, or how many times we do or we don't, but just that we get some consistency. And they've got a fairly decent argument that they didn't have that tonight.
Now, John, they will certainly look at a couple of incidents. We will explore a few more. Here's the other results from round 19. But Widnes pushed Hull FC all the way. The home side winning out 31-24 in the end. 12th consecutive Super League loss for the Vikings, but they were oh so close in that game. A couple of really big scores for Hull FC late on in that game, pushed them past the Widnes. Same really over at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Warrington, they shrugged Salford away at the end, 30 points to 14, but Salford would not go away for large parts of that game. And the scoreline then at KCOM Craven Park, 37 points to 10. Huddersfield scored first and last in that game, and 37 points from the home side in between.